Subscribe and hit the bell icon and never miss another video.
I think I've known Sara from before we became actors.
Yeah.
Across on Coffee with Karan. I don't think we were trying to be friendly or trying to be anything that were not organic. Look, chup ho jayenge was never a thought because I think I understand that it is impossible to win everyone over.
Yeah.
कहीं ना कहीं कोई ना कोई तो होगा जो कहेगा अरे nepotism या अरे acting सीख के आ. When I started seeing people leaving positive comments and really like heartwarming comments, I was like, oh, ये possible है, like ये हो सकता है. And I guess I'm also put into that box more often than not कि भोली सी है, मासूम सी है, acting नहीं आती बेचारी को.
Hey guys, my name is Shravan Shah and today I'm going to be having a conversation with the very talented Janhvi Kapoor in the house. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Wow, your introduction was so energizing because we were having very somber.
Yes,
like
so this is what happens when the camera
started. It was really like a switch.
No, but first of all, congratulations on
Thank you.
GoodLuck Jerry.
Thank
You've done a fab job.
Thank you so much.
And I have to say this on camera that you are one of the actresses who has pushed envelope with every film that she's been doing.
That's
and it's
so
very evident.
Thank
The hard work is very evident. I want to ask you this, that when you did the film, did you know that this is the kind of love and appreciation it's going to get?
You know, honestly, Shravan, I did the film. I finished shooting for it a year and a half ago.
Oh, long time.
A long time ago,
Yeah.
and I finished 2 films since then. So while shooting the film, I was like, oh, this feels good. Like, this feels nice. I feel like I'm getting to do different things. लेकिन शूट के वक्त मज़ा आया, बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला और फिर भूल गई. हो गया ना, मेरे लिए शूटिंग के वक्त का ही था. Then I moved on to the next thing. So I wasn't waiting कि अब ये फिल्म आएगा तब सब चुप हो जाएंगे. I wasn't like, it was out of my system then.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly a little surprised and taken aback कि अच्छा हाँ शायद सही काम किया था मैंने.
No, but as an audience, I have to tell you this, that while I was watching the film, I also feel that you've come into your own, like you enjoy playing characters like this.
I really do enjoy playing
It shows.
characters. That was so contradictory to the scene. Like, I don't know if you remember, there was this one scene where Jerry makes her first drug delivery.
Yeah.
Where she goes to that guy's house and like he keeps doing taekwondo and they put her phone in the fish tank. And she's obviously very nervous. So a typical way to play nervous is like to look stressed and like sweat and like shaky. And he was like, why don't you just like laugh throughout? Like a nervous laughter. Like just do the whole thing laughing. And I was like, that's so cool. Like that's so different. I wouldn't have thought of it. And so for every scene, he'd like give me something that would throw me off. And then for me, it was like a challenge to make it work. And it was just a lot of fun.
My favorite scene from that part was after you're done with the drug delivery, there's literally like a 5-minute shot probably where you're standing on a bridge and I as an audience felt okay, she's going to break down right now because she's just delivered drugs, but she just smiles and it's so weird. I'm like, bro, I thought you'll start crying now.
Yeah, but that's what Jerry is. I think she's surprising herself also as she's going on this journey.
Yeah.
I think she like got a kick out of it a little bit.
Clearly she did. But the way she got out of situations was mind blowing. I have to ask you this, when you said this, that did you have this feeling that once this film releases, log chup ho jayenge, or does that even matter anymore?
Look, chup ho jayenge is never a thought because I think I understand that it is impossible to win everyone over.
Yeah.
कहीं ना कहीं कोई ना कोई तो होगा जो कहेगा अरे nepotism या अरे acting सीख के आ. Like I know that is inevitable. That is the popular narrative. Those are the comments and opinions that get clickbait or popular support or like whatever. It's the popular opinion. So I know I can't win everyone over, but the aspiration is to win everyone over.
For sure.
And that's what I want. I want their love. I'm doing it for their love. So I know I have a long way to go to, prove it to them, to prove it to myself. And no, so it was never a thought कि ये करूँगी तो सब चुप हो जाएंगे. It wasn't that. I think my goal was like ये करूँगी तो शायद कुछ और लोगों को विश्वास होगा कि मैं मेहनती हूँ और मैं उनको सही काम दिखाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ. I'm trying to entertain them दिल से.
Yeah.
So maybe 10 लोग और I'll convince. Then अगले फिल्म से 10 लोग और. 10 is a small number. I'm hoping a lot more people. And I hope वैसे करके one day I'll win over enough people to not question myself anymore.
But are you still reading comments, and do they still impact you? Or you've probably bypassed that phase, okay, now it doesn't matter anymore?
You know, Jerry has spoiled me a little bit because I had stopped reading comments. I was like, this is a losing battle.
Yeah.
I know that I'm working my ass off and giving it my all, and there are filmmakers that are seeing it, and I'm getting the work that I want to do, and there are people that are seeing that in me, but there's going to be a large amount of people that won't be convinced. So I was like, छोड़ो ये लोग बोलते रहेंगे. And so I had no expectations. And then slowly when I started seeing the reviews and when I started seeing people leaving positive comments and really like heartwarming comments, I was like, oh, ये possible है, like ये हो सकता है.
Yeah.
And so now like थोड़ा हिम्मत करके I'm reading some stuff and getting happy. And like of course there are 1 or 2 comments here and there, but उन लोगों को भी मैं जीत ही लूँगी.
For sure. I have to say this again, that you have pushed the envelope, and I know for a fact that you will continue doing that with the films
I hope so.
coming ahead. And there are so many scenes, while I was watching Jerry, that it reminded me of Sridevi ma'am from Chalbaz.
That's a big thing.
I'm being very honest, because I'm like, wow, there's so much similarity. Did you see it coming? Did you even feel it while you were doing it? Any of that?
No, I didn't think of it. I didn't see it coming. I didn't feel it. I mean, I am her daughter. We have the same genes. So like,
Yeah.
I guess certain emotions will be portrayed the same way. But I didn't draw that parallel at all in my head. I just thought Jerry was such a fun character because of her duality.
Yeah.
Because लोग जब फिल्मों में एक शातिर, तेज तर्रार, चटपटी मतलब तिरछी लड़की दिखाते हैं तो they have a very boisterous way of showing it, और जब मासूम innocent लड़की दिखाते हैं तो they have a very typical way of showing that.
Yeah.
And Jerry is both of those girls. So she's like a contradiction and still relatable.
Are you to Jerry? Because when I was watching the film, at least till the climax of the film, I genuinely thought, yaar, she's a victim of this entire game. Bichari, matlab uske sath sab ho raha hai. She's
Really, in the interval point, you didn't realize कि ये कितनी चंट औरत है?
I was like, यार, मतलब, I feel so bad for her. एक तो dad died young, and now she has to bear the brunt of everything, and plus mom has cancer. I'm like, यार, everything is happening to us. How bad can the world be?
वो बहुत शातिर है.
Clearly, she managed to convince me in that. But how similar are you to Jerry?
I don't think I pretend to be a certain way. I think I am who I am, but I also do realize that a lot of people are very often surprised by me. They're like, oh, but like we thought you were like this quiet girl, but you're quite crazy.
Wow.
So I get that a lot.
Very honest.
Yeah, so I get that a lot. So yeah, I think one thing I can relate to her with is that I guess she was put into a box of bholi si hai, masoom si hai, kuch nahi kar payegi. And I guess I'm also put into that box more often than not कि भोली सी है, मासूम सी है, acting नहीं आती बेचारी को. But I know I'm more than that.
You are.
And I think I have more to offer even in my personality than just that. So yeah, I guess in those aspects I relate to her.
If I talk about a filmography, every film you have been, whether it's Gunjan, whether it's Dhadak, all the films, they've been so different from each other, and the characters have been very different. It's not even in the similar zone, if you know what I mean. Okay, has that as an actor been a conscious decision that, hey, okay, I have tapped into this genre, now I have to do different genres so that people need to see what I as Janhvi Kapoor can offer?
It wasn't like a have-to thing, it was more like a want-to thing, because like I said, the thing that excited me most about how Siddhant even was directing me was how he'd throw me off with a challenge before each scene. And so every time I'd read a script, I would organically get attracted to characters and worlds that were as different from my world as possible, because then it's a challenge.
Yeah.
For me, playing an urban girl in Bombay who's seen a lot of the world, whose first language is maybe more westernized than, you know, from a small town, that would maybe come very easily to me. And so it wouldn't be an exciting challenge. Maybe like wearing like Western clothes and looking glamorous, I've done for a living for quite a while now, so maybe that would come easier for me.
Yeah.
But this is a more exciting space for me. It somehow feels more natural on camera to be devoid of hair, makeup, urban lifestyles and all of that. This feels more interesting to me, and I gravitate towards it more organically.
It shows also when you're on screen. Another thing I want to talk about is I genuinely loved your rapport that you had with Sara on Coffee with Karan, and I genuinely liked how honest both of you all were. Okay, when there is so much that, you know, when there are two actresses you see on screen, okay, and then you see them on this space, and there are so many incidences that you all spoke about, and I'm like, wow, I love this, especially the entire trek to Bharavnath. I was like, how can somebody be so crazy? Okay, when you all do something like this, as actors, do you all differentiate yourself between, okay, we are also two leading ladies, and we are also friends?
I think I've known Sara from before we became actors.
Yeah.
And I think we know each other to the capacity where she's my contemporary isn't the first thought that occurs in either of our heads, I think.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, I think the thought is first, she's my friend, she's someone who's seen me. She's someone who's seen me when I had no idea that I wanted to become an actor. And she's kind of seen me through that journey a little bit. So yeah, I think when we go on these trips and we have these experiences together as friends, or even when it's not these trips and I just meet her one-on-one at the gym, there's a sense of oh, you get me. I want to talk to you because you see me through all of this shit. And maybe that's what came across on Coffee with Karan. I don't think we were trying to be friendly or trying to be anything that we're not organic.
It was very organic because it could show. It genuinely showed. Come back to films. Has there ever been, between all the films that you've done till now, has there ever been a character that probably took a little longer than it generally takes you to leave you?
To leave me?
Yeah.
It took a minute with the Bihari dialect and Jerry, honestly. For a long time, I was talking in that rhythm.
You heard?
Yeah, a little bit.
How did your friends react to it?
They were like, what is wrong with you? Pehle Hindi nahi aati thi, abhi ye kya?
Did you start talking to people like aap? Hum, aap?
Hum still happens. Hum keh rahe the na. It still happens in a very non-accurate way, but that hum hasn't left me still. But other than that, no. I make it a point to go on a short trip after a film, even if it's for 3-4 days, to just let it go. I remember when I was shooting for Gunjan, Ruhi and Ghost Stories together, there was a point where I had to, in Ruhi, I was stammering a little bit and I was doing hum. So then I shot that and I came back to Gunjan, and then I started stammering in some of the scenes in Gunjan. And Shravan was like, "What are you doing? What?" And then I did Ghost Stories and came back to Gunjan, and in Ghost Stories I had a slight a Malayali accent. I was playing a nurse who had that slight twang where she didn't pronounce her H's. Then again for Ruhi, I was saying my dialogues like that.
But how difficult does it become when you're shooting so many projects simultaneously? Is there something that you specifically do to remember, okay, this is where I have left the sur of the character?
I have a playlist.
Oh.
I have a playlist for each film, but it still takes me a day or two. I shot Bawal and then in 2 days I had to start Mahi. And it took me a minute to not only realize that the characters are extremely different, but also realize that the ways of working of both directors are so different. Their processes are completely different. With Nitesh Sir, I was used to मुश्किल से 3-4 टेक होते थे, mostly 1-2-3 टेक में हो जाते थे, and it was a very we have it, it's done. And Shravan likes to chodo to another level. तो मैं कर रही हूँ 18 टेक हो गए, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. Yeah, and I was like, so you need to readjust and realign according to.
Perfect. But genuinely, is Janhvi Kapoor happy with the way everything has panned out?
I was happy for a minute and a half, and now I want to get to work again. So yeah, I'm happy. I'll be happier when I'm on set.
Perfect. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you so much.
Keep doing what you're doing. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And like I said, you've killed it in Jerry.
Thank you so much.
And I know you're going to keep soaring high and keep shining bright
you.
like a diamond.
Thank you.
This one is a wrap
Bye guys. Thank you.